There are plenty of interesting words in the sport of harness racing, like hobbles and sulky. And there's a new term we've been hearing a lot of lately in the standardbred sport. That's also a bit unusual sounding, and that's Yorwollahan. So, what is a Yorwollahan? Or probably the better question is, who is it?
Yeah, so it's three different guys. It's Adam Yorston, Jordan Wollaston, and Corey Callahan. And we were trying to come up with a catchy name for our group. And I think it was Adam that came up with it. He goes, what about we just mix all of our names together and be Yorwollahan?
So how and where did these three guys meet to form a friendship and the beginnings of Yorwollahan Racing Team? It was at preschool. I mean, they didn't actually attend the same education institution together. The camaraderie basically started waiting for their kids in the after-school pickup line.
I'd have to give credit probably to my kids and my wife. With the kids going to preschool together and things like that, the family's just kind of connected and we all just really gelled and formed this awesome relationship, honestly, that has led to many things, trips, late nights with or without the kids. And then eventually, all of us enjoy this. So, we decided to go ahead and on one horse like 4 years ago. And then since then, it's just kind of been something we really enjoy and continue to add to.
Corey, who grew up in the sport and has over 7,200 driving wins on his resume, has enjoyed teaching the basics of the business to Jordan and Adam, who each have very different personalities and perspectives when it comes to owning horses and enjoying the sport.
We have like a little group chat and, I'll say, oh, the horses did this, or, this is what's going on with this horse. And, everybody just like, okay, that's great. And, normally if one races really well, Jordan watches most of the races live. And, he'll be texting like, oh yeah, that horse raced great. And Adam's like, so how much money do we make? And the other day he actually asked me, he goes, so like, what horses do we own? How many horses do we own? Like, what are their names? So, the only ones he probably knows about are the ones where I've given him the win pictures and he has them, like in his man cave, and that's probably about it.
My favorite would have to be probably our original, which was Better Rock On. We called him Bro for short. He's actually retired and he stays at Corey's farm, became his daughter's main riding horse, I guess, to learn on. So that's a really cool story in itself. But right now it'd have to be GTS, which is Ginger Tree Skyer, and or even tonight with Samara. I like her, she's one of the newer ones, so I think she's got a good shot. I try to watch them as often as I can, whether we're in that night or not, I just enjoy it. I have 4 children, 10, 9, 5, and 2. The 2 youngest are boys. So I guess JJ, which would be my 5-year-old, was the first because we started this about 4 or 5 years ago. And you'd be rocking them to sleep and there's only so much to do, and our races would always be between that 8 and 9 o'clock time frame and that's bedtime. So I would throw on the race selfishly for me, but then naturally he just latched onto it, love watching the horses. And then with the youngest one coming up, it was already there because we would have it on the big screen half the time too. My kids actually love getting into it. We have a lot of fun with it.
We've been very lucky. We've bought some pretty nice horses. Ginger Tree Skyer was probably maybe the 3rd horse that we bought. And he went on and had a really good run. He won the $50,000 race there at Harrington, the Cook Memorial. And then we bought Star Razor last year as well. And he won the race there on Fair Day. So there was a lot of people in the winner circle. I actually heard, I can't remember what race it was, but there was some race that I won and all the wives and kids and everybody was there. And Jack goes, and that's Corey Callahan and those are all of his kids. And it was like 9 because all the groups, we all have 4 kids too. Adam and Jordan have 4 kids as well. So it's like, I guess that's how you have to be members of our club, is to have 4 kids.
And when you start doing the math, counting the 3 partners along with their wives, Joanna, Emily, and Kara, along with their kids, totaling 12, And that adds up to the Yorwollahan racing team equaling an entourage with an energy level that's second to none.
So it was really fun on fair day because I knew he was winning and they were all standing there along the fence and they were yelling for me every time I went by. You know, they yelled at the start, at the half, I was on the front, they were yelling at me. And I knew I was a winner and I just kind of looked over and pointed at them and I was like, yeah, and they went nuts. Like they just erupted like, ah! So yeah, that was fun. It's nice to, you know, it's nice when you got people that are really, you know, passionate and excited about winning. So, but you know, they get it too. Like it's not all about winning. I mean, we've had a lot of good luck, but we've had, you know, some bad luck too. They understand that things happen. They have very successful businesses on their own, so they're just kind of doing this for fun pretty much.
It's been said that some of the biggest business deals have been made on the golf course. And that might be true, but we're pretty sure one of the most entertaining business deals was conspired in a very different setting.
The closest contact I had was my grandfather used to take me to the track as a kid, like all of us cousins, and you know, $5, hey, pick a horse type thing. That was the closest thing we ever had until I met Corey. He obviously has some horses on his property, and then, you know, knowing that he's as good as what he does, he actually just, you know, the three of us are having a drink around a campfire thing. We're just like, man, we should get into something together. And it was like, well, why don't we get a horse? And it was just made sense. You got Corey's family and lineage with his, you know, his dad and brother will train them, take them to and from the track. Corey's got the expertise. If anything, he just kind of allowed us to jump in on it with him. So, and since then, it's just been fun.
I got him in really small to begin with a horse named Better Rock On N. We bought him for $8,000, and he won a couple races for us. Like he had some fun, and then we just kind of kept growing it from there. I mean, you know, the last couple horses we bought for like $50,000. So, you know, and we're not taking out any money. You know, it's just kind of something fun that we've done, and we're hoping we can just kind of build it and build it and build it, and then, you know, one day just say, okay, now we're going to cash out. So hopefully there's money in at the end.
With a racing team that brings together family, friends, fun, and fast times at the track, it's a sure bet that Yorwollahan is going to become a very recognizable word in the harness racing sport.